I have moved because I sublet in co-ops, and this doesn't make any sense to anybody else. But right now in New York City, it's very hard to find a place
Let me ask you, now you've probably moved a total of what, 50 blocks, 30 blocks, something like that?
Yeah.
I moved 1.5 miles in Northern California a year ago from one small vacation home to another. I might as well have moved 2,000 miles. By the time you get everything on the truck, you say, well, we'll put some in the car, we'll put some, in the truck. It's a horror story to move. I don't care how far it is.
Well, I thought I could put everything on the subway. That was my idea. I was in Soho. I'm moving up Manhattan. I thought, what is this?
Just stack it on the A-train,
I have my
right.
Easy Pass. It's $1.50. We'll put everything on the giant subway car. We tried that. It didn't work. It's very expensive.
And now you've been on the air for 5 years, so you are certainly no longer an unknown, and the movers must certainly have recognized you when the truck pulled up or whatever.
When you're on at 12:30, and I don't have the pedigree in TV you have. When you're on at 12:30, you're always a relative unknown. I don't care. I don't care who you are. I'm constantly introducing myself. Now they know who I am. They know that, yeah, you're that. Yeah, okay, I know who you are now. I can't stay up late enough to see it. The people who can see our show are the mentally ill, anybody in a hospital with any kind of infirmity where they have to get medication every 45 minutes because they have to be up.
That's right.
And my parents occasionally watch now.
Yeah, I think we play well in hospitals, as you say. I think prisoners watch us. I think people who work in bars and restaurants
watch us with great interest. Let's leave it at that.
Okay.
I get all kinds of mail, and I'm going to go see a fella in Raleigh, North Virginia.
Is that right?
Yeah, we sort of started writing, and we're going to start slow and move up.
I like to think of our audience, Conan, as the smokers and the jokers, the thinkers and the drinkers, right?
Yeah, and probably add a few other things by now.
But with the fame, limited though it may be at 12:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
How has your life changed? Because it does change your life. I found that out when I started Tomorrow for NBC back in the 70s. All of a sudden, people say, I know that guy. I know who you are.
You know how it changes the most dramatically? Tables in a restaurant.
Yeah.
You'll back me up on this.
Yeah.
Look at the table we got here tonight, okay? If you two and I, if the two of us were not in television and we walked in right now to the River Cafe and said, we'd like a table, they would not seat us right here near the river. But you're on TV, you get the beautiful table right here, they clear everybody else out. Everyone else here is eating their meal on a barge.
No,
that's
we've
floating.
driven them away. You
Oh,
see.
I see. I saw people holding their plates.
And what
out.
about your own comfortability with fame? You know, I always felt when it first started like, geez, I just do this little tiny TV program. It's no great big deal.
Right.
But people want to make you comfortable in a restaurant. They want to make you comfortable in a theater or on an airplane. And you kind of say, gee, I'm really not worth all that.
Well, your problem is you're not an egomaniac.
No, I'm not.
Okay, that's your problem. I'm someone who, I love doing the show. I really enjoy doing the show. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy some of the trappings. It's nice when a pretty girl looks your way. It's nice when people recognize you.
Well, at your age, pretty girls would look your way.
Oh, go on. That's not true.
Yeah, it is true.
I have an odor that's very unpleasant that tends to get in the way that you can't tell on TV. Yeah, that's true. I like some of the things about it. What gets to be a little strange and wearing is you're walking around just trying to live your life. I'm very nice. I chat people up, but there are times where that gets a little strange. Do you know what I mean? Just people staring at you. I'm actually happier if someone comes up and says, hello, hi, how are you? I like the show, whatever.
Have you found at parties, if you go to a social occasion, you know, the people who watch our programs know how to do our job better than you and I know how to do it. And
are you kidding? That was the first 2 years after I replaced Letterman. Was a national obsession was let's help this poor freak. You know, it became everybody. You could be a 120-year-old woman. You know, could accost me in the street. You know, a woman in a wheelchair. Yeah, you got to sit upstairs. You know, just madness. Everyone could do that, and most of them were right.
Yeah.
So.
The thing I noticed, though, if you have a guest on that people don't especially like, and I've been at social occasions, well, they go on for 20 minutes about this guest and about how rude you were to the guest, and after 20 minutes, I tend to get rude if people are complaining, and they say, you know, I knew you were a son of a bitch. And I say, well, I'm glad I made you happy, and they walk away.
What kinds of parties are these you going?
Well,
these are parties you weren't invited to.
No, they're parties where people have had a little bit too much to drink other than coffee.
Okay.
Let me take a fast break. We're chatting here with Conan O'Brien, who appears on a television network near you in this time period. Check the listings for the place in your town. We'll be right back after this break. I think he looks better on CBS, huh? Don't you think he's a lot? Doesn't he kill?
I hear the money's better over
It
here.
is.
I'll tell you that much.
Doesn't he kill on Channel 2? I mean, you know, no need. Much stronger. You do a routine over there, and I've seen this not only with the president, but others, where you put a picture up on the screen and their mouth moves, and you do a comedy bit around that. Well, you call that something over
Clutch
there?
Cargo.
Oh, okay.
It has that name from a cartoon in the 1960s.
Right.
It was so low budget they just superimposed
That's right.
human lips on very crudely animated faces, and everyone in my generation remembers that.
Some of the material that you do with the president's picture, and then you've got an actor, I would assume, who does the Clinton-esque voice.
Robert Smigel does that voice. Yeah.
Oh, really? The guy who does the films for Saturday Night Live?
That's right.
Yeah.
He's the one who is the voice of President
Some of this
Clinton.
stuff gets pretty risque. I mean, the Prez is passing gas and blowing his nose and talking like a hillbilly. I mean,
Our president, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's hard to tell these days. We'll be back after this. No.
I mean, it is the President of the United States that you're spoofing there.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if sometimes you think to yourself, geez, maybe we're going a little bit too far.
Oh, yeah. There are times when I think that a lot in rehearsal, and if I really think we're going too far somewhere, I'll take it out.
Mm-hmm.
So we do, as hard as it is to believe, we actually have our standards.
Pull back now and again?
We do pull back on things, and mostly what's odd is that the notion that the president will see it. Because I've met him on a few occasions, and on one occasion I was invited to the White House on St. Patrick's Day, where they were gathering some of the Irish people available.
That'll be the day the Irish went to went to the White House.
Exactly.
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah,
okay,
St.
let
Patrick's
them in, Hillary.
Day.
Yeah.
All right, just this once, and don't put out the good china. So I went, and I'm in a long receiving line, and the president is standing there shaking hands, and he's standing next to the president of Ireland, Mary Robinson.
Oh, surely, yeah.
And he's shaking hands.
And making small talk with the people as they...
Right, a little bit of small talk. And then it's my turn, and I step up, and President Clinton says, "Oh, hello, Conan. It's nice to
He knew
have
your
you here."
name. That's
He
very
knew my name. Well, I
impressive.
had written it on my tuxedo.
Oh, come on.
It's just, I'm very low self-esteem. No, he remembered, because he had written me a letter once, and I had performed for him once at the White House Correspondents' dinner, so he's familiar, and he's seen my act. So the president said, "It's nice to see you," and he turned to Mary Robinson, and he said, "This is Conan O'Brien. He's one of our talk show hosts." And then he started to try and explain Clutch Cargo to the president of Ireland, while we're sitting in the White House.
Who did not have a clue.
And he wasn't doing a great job. That was the best part, is that President Clinton was saying, he's a talk show host.
Probably he was on that like he explains healthcare, right?
He's better at healthcare. And he said, he takes your lips and he puts them on someone else's face that looks like your face. And she actually took a step back and gave him a look like, what are you talking about? Are you physically, is this a man who physically removes people's lips? So I had to step in and say, he's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not, a butcher.
Right. So it is odd that he watches sometimes. He's watching right now.
Hey, Bill, Hillary, don't he look better here on CBS than he does on it? Yeah, right.
They'd rather not see me anywhere.
Has he contacted you? Like, did you get a letter about your comedy? Any reaction to it? Feedback from the press?
No, just in the beginning, he wrote a letter that he thought he liked the show. I think that's before.
He thought he liked the show.
Yeah, I think in the beginning, before we really took things too far. I think he actually... We do a lot of silly, cartoony kind of sketches on the show, and I think he responded to that, and I think he gets it from a lot of quarters. I think something about the sense of humor we have towards the president is that it's very exaggerated.
Of course.
It's very cartoony. And
caricature almost.
I think that would... Our President Clinton says knee-haw. He's pretty much as a hillbilly. I think that even the president would probably be able to see some humor in that, because we've made him a cartoon character.
I know that from time to time you do get on the shuttle and go see your family up in Boston, you know, from whence you come. And some of the stuff you do on the air is risque.
Yeah.
It's at the cutting edge. How about mom and dad when they see their boy doing this stuff?
Well, what's interesting is I can do things on television that I can't do.
You wouldn't do.
That I wouldn't do and wouldn't even bring up in the kitchen of my home in Brookline, Massachusetts. So there have been occasions, because I come from a very healthily repressed Irish Catholic family. We don't talk about things. We don't, no one sits around in my family and talks about sex.
Dad never sat you down and said, "Now, Conan, here's the way it is."
No. I got a letter from my father. And I still lived in the house with him. and it said "See Medical Journal," page 455 through 458. We don't talk about those things, and that's just the way Irish Catholic families are. There have been several times where I've gone home, I've taped a show, and then it's Thanksgiving, so I jump on the shuttle, I go home, I get home, my parents are up, they make me a ham sandwich, we have coffee, and then it's about time for the show to be on. And my parents say, let's go watch the show.
The kid's on, yeah.
And we sit there, and I'm miserable because I know that we have a sketch coming up that they can't see. And this happened the last time I was home. We had a sketch coming up. I don't want to go into it on your show. I don't want to sully your show.
Okay.
You know, this is CBS. This is a classy outfit we have here. I won't sully this program.
You don't watch a lot of TV, do you?
No, well, you know, we'll talk about Howard later. So